Hi, I'm Bry Cox, BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com. I am doing the Ask Me Anything for PPA, Professional Photographers of America, and for The Loop. The Loop is the social media site for photographers. And so I'm going to be speaking at ImagingUSA in Nashville, doing a whole program on business and sales. So I'm just doing a video per question here on the Ask Me Anything. So this is a question from Naomi from Port Richey, Florida. She says, "Hi, Bry. My question is, although girls tend to like having their photos taken, how do you deal with the teenage boy who is grumpy and only at the session because his parents forced him?" Yeah, that's a whole... Sometimes girls are grumpy. Sometimes I get little kids that are grumpy. One of my favorite things is, not grumpy kids, but one of my favorite things is flipping them, right? You open the door, you're bringing in this family, and I'm doing maybe little kids' pictures, and the little kid comes in, and he's got a blotchy face, and he's crying, and his whole face is soggy, and the mom's just like, I can't get him to wear a sweater, whatever. And it's my job to take little sad, crying, blotchy face kid and flip him into the super happy, drunk with laughter kid here in the studio in minutes. And really, it's the same thing with kids as it is with an adult, as it is with a teenage. A teenage is kind of a little bit of a kid, a little bit of adult. Like, teenagers, they'll say things like, they'll walk in, you go, oh, this girl, she's pretty adult looking, and she's got kind of adult clothes, and she's tall, and she kind of seems like she could be 25 when she's really 17, and then she says something, and you're like, oh yeah, she's kind of a kid. That's why I like shooting seniors. They're so fun for that reason, because they're kind of that mix of, I can make them look adult, I can make them look kids, all in if they're smiling, not smiling, how I light them. So teenage boys, really, it's the same as anything. It is social dynamics. And I guess I could give a little soft plug. I've got a whole couple hours on just social dynamics, a whole course on that. But really, the thing is, approach with confidence, realize where he is at. Just be like, you know what, you're going to like this. It's going to be cool. We'll be quick. We'll be fast. You don't like this? We'll get out of here quick and easy. And I will often get these kids talking and telling me things that they haven't even told their folks. I've delivered portraits to families, and I'll be like, I sure hope that boy of yours does well in his, what was that one kid? He was writing a script for a movie, and I says, I sure hope he does well in that script he's writing. And she's like, what? And I go, yeah, he's just... that script for that movie, him and his buddy. She's like, what are you talking about? He doesn't have anything to do with movies. I was like, no, him and his buddy have been working for months on this. She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So a lot of it is just, how do you approach a grumpy dad, right? Maybe he's a total alpha, and you need to keep him in charge, but at the same time, you also need to control him and the family and get them to move over here, stand there, pose. How do you get a little kid to switch and become from sad to happy? How do you get, in this case, a grumpy teenager? It is being in charge, owning the situation, being incredibly kind, easygoing. You do not let your mood ever switch to negative. You don't get angry. You don't have a temper. You're the sunshine that, in the old fable, the Aesop fable, you got the clouds trying to blow the guy's coat off, and the sun just heats the guy up, and the guy takes his own coat off, right? This is the whole idea, is you are going to be the sunshine that just warms this guy up. He comes in, he's a little mad, he's pissed, he's grumpy, he doesn't want to be there. If there's a disconnect between him and his folks, I may just say to the folks, why don't you wait in the sales room, look at some albums, and then you got the kid alone, you say, look, I know, it's not fun. Let me tell you a little secret. Nobody likes being in front of the camera. Nobody. I don't even like being in front of the camera. But we all love these after the fact. Give them a little speech like that, and I say, so I can be super fast. I know how to light you. I know how to make you look like a rock star. Look at some of these images. I'll win them over a lot of times in just that little speech. And it's the same thing I do when I do adoption kids. So I do this fundraiser. I don't know if it's not a fundraiser. It's more of like a charity for this group in Utah to help kids get adopted. Because what pictures do they have? Usually just pictures that their social worker has taken with their iPhone or crappy camera with crappy lighting and bad posing. And so you got this sad-looking kid with bad lighting, and nobody wants to adopt him. And so what do? They bring him into like a photographer. And so I get these kids, and these are usually about the hardest kids I have to photograph. And that's the whole thing, social dynamics. A lot of these kids, they won't look me in the eye. They'll just scan. They'll just kind of do this, and they won't smile. They won't look from their teeth. They won't let their expression show. They've got a shell, right? And everybody has some kind of a shell, but these kids usually have the toughest shell. And so how do you get through them? I just say, have you ever had a good portrait taken before? Have you ever had a professional? And they'll go, no. And I'll say, you know what? A lot of people haven't. Because what I do is really expensive. It's really high end. This is like the Ferrari. And let me just show you some samples. And I go, you know, here's what I do. This is the kind of work we're going to do. And guess what? We're going to be done in like 10 minutes. I don't need 50 shots to get something good. We're going to get the first shot. It's going to be awesome. Second shot's going to be awesome. Everything I shoot is going to be amazing. And then really it's just picking from there. So just come, relax, you know, and I have to get them to kind of just, I have to talk to them, change their mood, have a conversation with them. And then when they look up, I get that shot. And when I get that look in the eye, I get that shot. And it's all you controlling the environment. Okay. Good question, Naomi. If you have any questions, want more information, of course, I have my whole website, BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com. I've actually got a lot of lighting and other videos at PPA, at PPA.edu, at PPA.com. And of course, come see me at ImagingUSA in Nashville. Whole program on sales and business. All right, you guys. Until next time, America.